different platforms, so it kicks me off just to be safe. But again, when they log in here, they can go ahead and click on the prescription refill request column, click on the individual request. They can view it in detail here. They can also view a PDF of this request and then go ahead and send it over to the pharmacy that is indicated. Okay, and then moving forward, our send message works in this manner. Again, patients can send a message to the provider directly from their PHR, or they can come here. They can put in their information. If they have a PHR and they do it from here, our system will recognize their email address as a user. So they'll go ahead and populate all the additional fields. Patient can go ahead and enter their message. They can also include any files they want for their provider to see. Below what you're seeing here is an option to create a patient account. And so if this patient that's sending a message doesn't have a PHR yet, if they don't create an account, then the provider won't be able to send a message back. Now, if they do have a PHR, then they're good to go. So once this message has been sent, a little repetitive, but as with anything that gets sent over to a practice, a staff member will receive a notification.
Jasmine, what's a PHR?
The PHR is a personal health record. And what that is, and I can show you what that looks like. It's a.
I just want to know what the acronym was. That's all.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's a personal health record. So it's basically a cloud-based account that we provide for all of our patients that come through our system, and all of the medical information is stored in one secure place. I could show you briefly just what that looks like. Okay, so this is what the patient's going to be seeing from within their PHR. And what I mentioned earlier about how the patient can utilize all those functionalities from within their PHR, they can do it in this sense. So here's a list of all their healthcare providers. At any time they want to, say, in this case, send a message to that provider, they can go here and do that as well. And you can see that there's all the other functionalities that were shown on the patient portal is all also available here in the personal health record. Okay, so going back real quick to the messaging, when a patient sends a message, like I was saying earlier, if they don't have a PHR, you can see here that there's no option for the provider to respond back to this message. Now, however, if the patient does have a PHR, you can see here that the provider can go ahead and answer this message and send one back. And all of our messages are threaded historically, so you can see the details and the conversations. And if there's multiple staff members in that practice that have the accessibility to respond to this patient, you can see who responded at what time and what day and the content of their message. And our messages can be, when you're sending two patients, it can be set as different message type, whether it's a general message, a lab result, a summary visit, an educational reading material, or an alert, and how it looks like from the PHR. And just to clarify, this is what a patient is seeing from their PHR. In the messages, it categorizes it into different tabs for the patient. So, I mean, essentially, this is all the functionalities that we do provide. Are there any questions, anything you want me to go more in depth into or go back on?
I have a question. What's a PHR?
The PHR is a personal health record. So this is
I'm kidding.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you didn't hear me the first time, but right. And just to clarify again, the PHR is created for every patient that comes into our system. So after they completed that very first page that includes the demographics and the registration, we automatically create from the PHR. Okay. Any other questions?
And I'm starting to think about transactional cost and like what doctors pay for what, and I'm sure someone else will go over that with us, right?
Yes. Justin?
Right?
Yes. So our system is based on a software as a service. Obviously, it's cloud-based, but it's per provider per month. It is our pricing model, and it we try to keep it simple, but it does depend on the functionality that you're looking for. and of course volume plays into that as well. But one of the things that I do want to point out in all of these screens that Jasmine has gone through, number one is they're all customizable, from dropping in your colors, your logo, to as you can see when we set up the practice page, if the practice actually has pictures of their docs, etc. So it's very, very configurable. And then the second thing is, Jasmine, if you can click back on the practice side,
Sure.
in the dashboard. So you see in the blue, you see all these different functions and features that we have on the blue header bar. If you choose not to use secure messaging, for example, then we would take those features off of that header bar. In other words, we can configure the actual skin to only look to the exact functions and features that obviously you're purchasing and you want. So it's very, again, configurable and customizable from that perspective.
And Janice, this is Peter. From following up on what Justin just said as far as the pricing, MDON mirrors precisely what Justin said. Is we would follow a monthly per provider per month fee, and again, not surprisingly, we obviously have to have continuing discussions, because we would likewise, as it pertains to ECO, tie all of that together based on scale and scope, the number of providers, and the content that you folks potentially would be interested in exposing to your providers. So that obviously would require additional discussions. But again, we're just like register patient. We want to keep this simple. Most of the channel partners typically provide a monthly fee to their providers for their services, be it PMS, EMR, revenue cycle, etc. So the presumption would be we'd simply provide you a monthly fee that you could tack on and either just include as far as your overall monthly fee to keep it simple, or if you wanted to separate line item, it would be there for you.
Well, I guess I was asking more generally for a provider, is his monthly cost based on the functionality that he has, whether it be patient reminders or refills or just the scheduling, or the number of patient reminders, transactional, the number of...
Oh, no.
No.
No,
Okay.
it's not. It's not per transaction.
Okay.
For sure, it's what we have, Janice, is we have two packages today that we can go over in further detail, as Peter said later. But it's pretty simple. We have two product packages, and each one of those packages are a monthly cost per provider per month. It's based on NPI, and it can be, they could have 7,000 patients that register, or they could have 1,100 patients. It's not based on transaction.
Okay.
I have a question. What's a PHP? No. What is the relationship between registered patient and MDON?
I can take that. What I had mentioned, I don't know if that was Gary or Matt, but essentially what I had shared with Janice earlier is, unlike the EMR solution that you originally had expressed interest in as it relates to ECO and MDON, that is MDON's ONC certified application. We own it. It's our architecture. It's our GUI.